Ladies and gentlemen, I came here to tell you something that might disturb your comfort, but will awaken your calling. If you want to change your life, you've got to work like hell. You weren't created to live on autopilot. You weren't made to just survive paycheck to paycheck. You weren't formed in the image of God to be average. There's nothing average about your design. There's nothing mediocre about your purpose. So why are you treating your destiny like it's optional? See, people love to talk about blessings. People love to post about favor. But let me ask you, what did you build today? What did you grind through today? Because favor without function is just fantasy, and God doesn't bless laziness. He rewards diligence. He rewards commitment. He rewards the one who gets up at 5 a.m. when no one's watching and keeps showing up even when results don't. You want to win? You want to dominate in life? Then stop praying for success you're not willing to sacrifice for. Stop asking for $1 million outcomes with minimum wage effort. Stop telling God you're ready for more when you're still sleeping on the dream he gave you. Let me tell you something. The hustle is holy when your mission is righteous. See, when you're grinding for something bigger than you, your family, your legacy, your calling, then the work becomes worship. When you work like hell for something that matters, your sweat becomes sacred, your pain becomes purpose. But let me be real, most people won't make it. Not because they don't have the talent, not because they don't have the dream, but because they've got a PhD in excuse making. And I'm here to tell you that excuses are the language of the broke. You can't make money and excuses at the same time. You either give your life to the work or give your future to regret. Listen, you don't deserve the results you didn't work for. Faith without works is dead. A dream without discipline is dead. A goal without grind is dead. Some of y'all are out here trying to manifest millions while sleeping till noon. You're asking God to bless your bank account, but you won't bless your own effort. Let me make it plain. Discipline is the gateway to dominion. You don't get the crown without carrying the cross of consistency. You don't get the reward without enduring the repetition. Talent may open the door, but discipline keeps you in the room. It's not what you do once that makes you great. It's what you do daily. And if you think this is about just you, you're missing the point. This is about your name, your legacy, your bloodline. You're working so your children don't have to fight the same battles. You're grinding now so your last name becomes a first-class ticket, not a chain of poverty. Work now, bleed now, sweat now, so they don't have to. So yes, work like hell, wake up early, stay up late, say no to parties, say yes to purpose, ignore the doubters, embrace the grind. Because the version of you that walks in favor, the version of you that lives in overflow, that version only shows up when you've proven you can handle the fire. Heaven doesn't bless the lazy. The universe doesn't reward the passive. Life doesn't promote the excuse maker. But everything shifts. Everything changes when you decide to work like hell, not because you hate your life, but because you love your calling too much to waste it. So go build, go grind, go fight, and don't stop until your future looks like the vision that's been burning inside you. Work like hell. God rewards diligence, not laziness. That's not just a motivational phrase. It's a spiritual law. It's written into the very fabric of creation. Look around. The sun rises every single day without fail. The seasons come in order. The earth keeps spinning. That's divine consistency. That's diligence in motion. And if the Creator built the universe with rhythm and discipline, why do we think we can receive His favor without operating by the same principle? Diligence is proof of desire. It's how you show heaven that you're serious about what you're asking for. It's not enough to want it. You have to work for it like it's already yours. Some people pray with passion, but work with passivity. They shout in church, but whisper in the marketplace. They cry for breakthroughs, but won't commit to process. But God is not moved by emotion alone. He is moved by execution. You can cry all night, but if you wake up and do nothing, you've canceled your own breakthrough. Laziness is not just a habit, it's rebellion. It's a refusal to participate in the blessings God has prepared for you. Every day you delay, you're pushing back the promise. Every time you settle, you're saying no to a divine yes. And here's the truth. God won't bless what you won't build. He won't multiply what you won't move on. You keep asking for overflow, but you haven't even dug the well. Diligence means showing up when it's boring, grinding when it's hard, creating when it's inconvenient. It's trusting that every seed you plant, every brick you lay, every step you take is being watched, recorded, and rewarded. The reward doesn't always come immediately, but it always comes because when you work diligently, you're not just working for results. You're working in alignment. And alignment attracts acceleration. If you ever wonder why some people seem to rise while others stay stuck, don't just look at their talent. Look at their track record. Look at their discipline. Look at their decisions when no one is watching. Heaven rewards those who refuse to quit, those who push through resistance, those who keep plowing the field even when there's no sign of rain. That's the kind of work ethic that opens doors, shifts atmospheres, and pulls blessings out of heaven. So no, you don't have to be the smartest, the most talented, or the most connected. But if you are the most diligent, if you are the one who refuses to quit, the one who works when others sleep, the one who builds when others blame, God will make a way where there was no way. Favor follows faithfulness. Reward follows work, because God never forgets a faithful worker. Never. The hustle is holy when the mission is righteous. That means your grind, your effort, your relentless pursuit of a goal, it becomes sacred when it's connected to something greater than just money, clout, or applause. When you're moving with purpose, when your work is tied to service, transformation, and generational impact, then every early morning, every late night, every ounce of sweat is an offering. It's worship in motion. See, there's a difference between selfish ambition and divine assignment. A lot of people hustle, but they're hustling in circles, chasing validation, chasing comfort, chasing things that never satisfy. But when your mission is righteous, when it's about building something that helps others, something that honors your calling, then the hustle becomes a spiritual act. It's no longer about grinding just to survive. It's about grinding to serve, to build, to elevate. That's why you can't compare your journey to someone else's. If their hustle is rooted in ego and yours is rooted in purpose, the destinations will look nothing alike. One builds noise, the other builds legacy. When you're doing kingdom work, even in the marketplace, your energy shifts. You're not just selling a product, you're delivering value. You're not just working for profit, you're planting seeds of impact. And that's why you can't afford to be lazy when the mission is righteous. You can't afford to sleep on something that could change lives. You can't afford to procrastinate on something that could shift your family's future. There are people assigned to your obedience. There are breakthroughs on the other side of your commitment. When you understand that your hustle is a tool God uses to fulfill his plan through you, you'll stop seeing it as a burden and start treating it as an honor. You are not just building a business, you are building a bridge for your children, your community, your calling. And yes, it will be hard. Yes, it will stretch you. But when your motive is pure, your mission is holy, and your heart is aligned, that grind becomes sacred. You're no longer hustling just to make ends meet. You're hustling to make history. So when you wake up tired, when you feel like quitting, remember, this isn't just hustle, this is holy ground. Every step you take in the direction of purpose is worship. Every obstacle you overcome is praise. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're giving God something to multiply. The hustle is holy when the mission is righteous. Excuses are the language of the broke. Not just financially broke, but mentally broke, spiritually broke, emotionally bankrupt. Excuses are how people defend their limitations. It's how they protect their comfort zones. It's how they justify staying stuck. But here's the raw truth. Every time you make an excuse, you're telling your destiny you're not worth it. Every time you explain why you can't, you bury the reason why you should. People who win in life don't have fewer obstacles, they just refuse to bow to them. Winners find a way, while others find a reason. Excuses are like weeds. They grow fast, they spread quickly, and they choke out anything valuable. You've got to uproot them, destroy them, starve them. Because as long as excuses live in your mind, results can't live in your life. You ever notice how broke-minded people always have a story, a reason, a long explanation for why they haven't started, why they're stuck, why it's not their fault? They blame the economy, the government, their parents, their boss, the weather, their zodiac sign, everything except themselves. But let me tell you something powerful. Your breakthrough begins. You can't build wealth with a welfare mindset. You can't construct a kingdom on a foundation of complaints. And no, I'm not talking about government assistance. I'm talking about people who assist their own downfall by constantly choosing excuses over action. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they cost you decades. They offer relief but steal reward. And worst of all, they become habits. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your excuses. That's why you see so many talented people going nowhere. Because talent doesn't override laziness. And dreams don't survive in the presence of constant justification. If you want more, do more. If you know better, show better. Your excuses won't pay your bills. They won't heal your marriage. They won't raise your children. They won't build your legacy. You can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. So choose. Choose to stop rehearsing the story of your struggle and start writing the story of your success. Choose to stop defending the chains and start fighting for the freedom. The minute you stop letting excuses speak for you is the moment your real voice, your true power, and your divine assignment can finally be heard. Excuses are the language of the broke, but execution is the language of the wealthy, the strong, the faithful, the free. So silence the excuses and let your results do the talking. You don't deserve the results you didn't work for. That might sting, but it's the truth. In a world where people want instant success, microwave blessings, and overnight fame, there's still one universal law that never changes. You reap what you sow. And if you haven't sown the effort, the energy, the consistency, the discipline, why are you expecting the harvest? We live in a time where people think they can skip steps and still win the race. They want to be paid like professionals but train like amateurs. They want the championship ring without ever sweating in the gym. They want to be respected without being responsible. But there is no shortcut to excellence. There is no elevator to greatness. You have to take the stairs, one painful, disciplined step at a time. Results are not about wishing. Results are about working. You can visualize all day. You can write affirmations and recite mantras. But until your actions match your ambitions, you're just daydreaming. The universe doesn't reward fantasy. It rewards follow-through. And God doesn't bless laziness disguised as faith. Faith doesn't mean sitting still and hoping for the best. Faith means moving in the direction of your calling, even when you don't see the outcome yet. Some people are mad at life for what they don't have, but they've never truly committed to earning it. They say they want more, but they won't study more. They want financial freedom, but they won't discipline their spending. They want influence, but they haven't mastered integrity. Wanting isn't enough. Hoping isn't enough. Work is the evidence of belief. When you really believe you're called to something, you pursue it with urgency. You wouldn't expect to collect a paycheck from a job you never showed up to. So why do you expect a harvest from work you never did? Why do you expect a return on investment when you never made a deposit? Life doesn't operate on intention, it operates on execution. And results come to those who prove they're ready through consistent, focused action, not to those who simply talk about it. This isn't to shame you, it's to wake you up. Because the beautiful part is this: when you do put in the work, when you do show up daily, when you do sacrifice your comfort for your calling, you deserve every blessing that comes. You earned it, you built it, and no one can take that from you. So stop scrolling, stop comparing, stop complaining, and get to work. The future you're dreaming of is waiting, but it only belongs to the version of you who's willing to show up and grind for it. Because you don't deserve the results you didn't work for. But when you finally decide to work like hell, there won't be a result in the world you can't claim. Discipline is the gateway to dominion, not talent, not connections, not good intentions. Discipline. It's the daily decision to do what's necessary, not what's convenient. It's the ability to govern yourself before life has to govern you. Dominion doesn't fall on your lap. It's claimed by those who have mastered themselves. You can have the best vision in the world, but if you lack discipline, you'll keep sabotaging your future with your feelings. Vision gives you the why, but discipline gets you to the how. It's the bridge between revelation and realization. Discipline is what separates those who talk from those who take. It's not flashy, it's not sexy, it doesn't always feel good, but it's the foundation of every breakthrough, every business, every transformation you've ever admired. Without discipline, you will spend your whole life reacting instead of building. You'll make emotional decisions that cost you years. You'll let moods cancel momentum. But when you're disciplined, you don't need motivation, you move from mission. When you're disciplined, you show up, whether it's raining or shining, whether you feel like it or not. You're no longer a slave to your circumstances, you're a steward of your calling. Discipline is doing what needs to be done long after the mood you made the commitment in is gone. It's waking up early when sleep is calling. It's staying focused when distractions are shouting. It's saying no to temporary pleasure because your long-term promise is too valuable to forfeit. It's trading entertainment for elevation. It's turning habits into highways to your destiny. And let's be clear, discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about training your flesh to serve your future. It's about telling your feelings you don't run this. Because when you master discipline, you don't just change your schedule, you change your standard. You raise the bar for your life. You stop tolerating average behavior from yourself. You stop chasing shortcuts and start embracing process. Dominion is influence, control, authority. It's ruling in your assignment. But no one rules without responsibility. You cannot dominate if you're constantly distracted. You cannot lead if you can't follow through. You cannot build if you keep breaking your own word. Discipline is the proof that you're ready to handle what you're praying for. So if you want more, become more. Govern your time, govern your thoughts, govern your habits. Because the truth is, God won't promote who you pretend to be. He promotes who you're disciplined enough to become. And when you finally align your actions with your assignment, when your habits match your calling, when your daily life reflects the level you say you're ready for, that's when dominion opens. Discipline is hard, but regret is harder. Choose discipline. Because when you master yourself, you unlock a life that no one can take from you. That's where dominion lives. Grind now so your legacy doesn't bleed later, because whether you choose to grind or not, someone's going to pay the price. The question is, will it be you now or your children later? Will it be your generation sweating for the vision, or the next one suffering from your silence and sloth? You're not just working for a better life. You're working to break chains that have held your bloodline hostage for generations. When you refuse to grind, you're not choosing peace. You're passing the pressure. You're handing off your battles to people who didn't create them. And that's not love. That's not leadership. That's neglect. Grinding now means you take the hit so your kids don't have to. You carry the weight so your family can rise. You endure the fight so your last name stops being a burden and starts becoming a blessing. Legacy is not about what you leave in the bank. It's about what you leave in the blueprint. What systems did you set? What habits did you model? What standards did you live by? Did you show them how to pray through pain, push through fear, and build through struggle? Or did you teach them to complain, to quit, to settle? The grind isn't just about wealth, it's about wisdom. It's about teaching those who come after you that comfort is not the goal, calling is. And sometimes calling requires crucifixion. Not physical death, but the death of your excuses, the death of your distractions, the death of your laziness. Because if something in you doesn't die, then something in your legacy will bleed. You think working long hours is hard? Try watching your grandchild suffer because you didn't finish what you started. You think discipline hurts? Try watching a generation wander because you refused to give them direction. See, pain is inevitable, but who feels it is your decision. Either you pay in sweat or they pay in struggle. So grind now, build now, sacrifice now, create the systems, write the books, launch the businesses, develop the mindset, build the wealth. Put your head down now so your family can lift theirs up later. Give your future heirs the gift of freedom, mental freedom, financial freedom, spiritual clarity. Let them inherit a platform, not a pit. This is bigger than your bills, bigger than your ego, bigger than the moment. This is legacy work, and legacy work is messy. It's exhausting, it's often thankless, but it's worth it. Because one day they'll look back and say, someone in my family finally stood up. Someone in my family finally broke the curse. Someone decided enough was enough. Let that someone be you. Grind now so your legacy doesn't bleed later. Let me leave you with this. You were not